my energy empire. So you already know you're locked in with your girl, Miss Keeks, and you're live listening to Streetkeeks TV. This platform is dedicated to hip hop and urban culture. I definitely know that people have been asking where is the documentaries, and they will be coming, but it's a work in progress. You know, research and all these things has to be done. But in the meantime, end of year 2025, my top 5 end of year rappers. And I know this is a thing that people look forward to because I always choose the people who deserve their flowers. In the meantime, let's just get straight to it. No delays. I'm here.
Independent ladies, na 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 na. Keys have money in her pocket so she feel nice. She na borrow girl clothes in her real life. She na sponge pan a boy what him feel like. Can buy some drink if him feel like. Nobody worry about Keys, she alright.
It was all a dream. I used to watch JBC. I know me they are Streetkeeks TV. I just a black ghetto youth like me. You can be anything that you wanna be, yeah. Here man, I'm a Tom all the day out of the slum king. I may represent for Streetkeeks TV Entertainment. Out of the slum, Streetkeeks gonna road ya know how.
From here the voice you don't know, say I just son enough. Representing for Streetkeeks TV Entertainment. You don't know, you know. We have real friends, but we have some fake ones too.
Yo, you done know it's Tiny Booster. You feel me? Straight out of Peck now, SN1. Alright, now you're locked to with Streetkeeks TV. You already know the hottest. You already know what's really good.
Mama was right the whole time. Now I see the evil in your eyes. No, they man, they envy us inside. It's no surprise. Let thing go dum da da dum da dum da. Dum da da dum da dum da. I can still do chocolates, dwellers, day. Still got them whole one.
So Energy Empire in 5th place. Hold on. Before I even announce that, let's start here. Big up everybody who dropped an album, a mixtape, an EP this year, because this one has to be done a little bit differently because there wasn't enough albums for me to cut through. So what I had to do is I had to look at all the projects that have dropped this year and choose within them. So you're going to have a mix of EP, mixtape, album within this rap review. Now back to where I was. In 5th position with no delays, yeah? Marlo P. Who's Marlo? Now you see, Marlo P's mixtape is a big one because respectfully, I didn't even know who Marlo P was before I listened to his mixtape. So shouts out to Bouncer for highlighting his new drop. Outside of Bouncer highlighting the new drop, I actually saw him going around on his press run. So that made me then go and actually have a look to find out who's Marlo. Because respectfully, I've seen him in a few visuals. I think it is on GRM Daily. But I've not actually gone and clicked to see like, raw, what's really going on. But I've listened to a few of his like solo projects, like barely. I've actually seen Marlo, I think it is in Fredo's video. But we know that there's some street politics there. So we're not going to get into that right now because we're here to discuss the project. And as I say that, Marlo P's mixtape had a lot. It had a lot of stuff in it. So first thing, what I got from Marlo P's mixtape, was childhood traumas, envious friends, battle of the streets, loss of a father, fatherhood, and finding himself within the music industry. Now, it's funny because when I actually went and listened to the mixtape, right, I started to hear certain things and I was like, okay, then it clicked to my brain. These are the things that he's been discussing on his press run. So I went and I sat down and I had a listen and a thorough intake of his interview with Armani Risk Takers. I did a live review on that, so you can actually go and check that out. That will probably be dropping shortly straight after this, where you can see a separation of a breakdown of me actually taking interest into who the person is behind Marlo and his music. So as I say, that energy empire, listening to the songs, there was a lot of standout moments on the project. I can highlight it right now. Everything You Need, Matt. I love the sample and the lyrics that was used to connect the project to make it what it was. I did like that. 2, Man of the House. When Marlo P's talking about the situation with his father and his brother's deportation and everything what surrounds his death and certain things that became childhood traumas to him, I actually started to think, it's crazy when you are doing something in the music industry, but you come from the streets and there's that saying, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This seems to have a stem around all the controversy that Marlo P happens to be encountering right now. So when I'm listening, I'm seeing, okay, Man of the House, he talks a lot. He talks about seeing his friend's success, which pushed him to music. And he mentions certain mistakes that he made, within his manhood growing. All right, cool. I respect that. There's a little discrepancies with his truths on what happened when it comes to certain circumstances. But we all know there's 2 sides to a story and in the public's perspective. So when I'm listening, I saw that he done a tune with a dancehall artist, and that was quite important because he spoke a lot about his roots coming from Jamaica to the UK in a variety of interviews, and then on the actual mixtape itself he spoke a little about things. So I did like that tune. I think it was called Tell Me. I liked that tune. The beat was good, and I think just the combination between him and the featured artist on that track worked. Wonder, the beat was fire, What I got from that song was love and streets. And I think with Marlo P, what made me actually have to go and listen to a lot of interviews that he spoke on when he was in his press run is because I didn't know who he was. And then to know that he titled his mixtape, Who's Marlo? That made me think, okay, I'm going to have to go and listen to the music, definitely do a little background check, and then listen to some interviews to be able to take in certain things that he's saying. Excuse that noise there. Taking certain things that he's saying so that I can actually take in the content and context of this mixtape, what he's put together. Because without me knowing this person, certain tracks, they're going to hit. But when you have an understanding of where these tracks are coming from, they hit a little bit differently. So with Marlo's project, I had to listen to the mixtape first by itself and think, okay, how am I ranking this? What am I thinking about this? Then the things that he highlighted, I went and I checked the interviews, saw some videos over on GRM, and then I was like, all right, cool, let's get back to business. So Fast Life now, that was an interesting track. I really liked that track. What I will say about Marlo P is that the samples he used was good. The production definitely matched his sound. And the videos that he had on there, yeah, I appreciated them because it gave a little perspective into the street life. And then you saw a video where he showed where he was like, you know, what he could be and how he would look if he evolved out of the culture of street life. So it was funny. Shortly after that, I saw the Marlo P freestyle. And I was like, okay, yes, this is making sense. I like it. He was rapping. Do What We Do, rated that song. Can't Lose, rated that song. Too Good, rated that song. And there was another.
Getting money is all I know. I wanna go live, but the trap's all I know. They say get a job, but I got these packs on.
But the reason why I will say that Marlo P is within my top 5 is because of all the projects that I listened to this year. First time hearing him, he stamped an effect on me. And one thing I can say about me is that I listen to a lot of different artists, right? And everybody has their different sound, everybody has their different style. And sometimes within their projects, they have different moments where you expect them to drop something gangster. Then it might come with something conscious, or it might be vice versa, or it might be neither. It might just be a whole bunch of songs what was just on a little hard drive that they thought, yeah, I'm releasing this, and it's a compilation of a whole bunch of stuff. So Marlo P actually putting this project together to give everybody a taste of who he is and where he's going and his evolve from when he started to now, it made sense. And I appreciated his vulnerability on it. And that was one of the main reasons why he ended up in my top 5, because when I actually heard of Bouncer call his name, and then I recognized when I went and looked at the person, how I remembered the person's face but not familiar too much to the music, I was really impressed. And one thing about me, I'm a strong person when it comes to critiquing music, because I know I rap, I know I sing, I know I write, so I'm expecting to hear certain things. And Marlo P didn't really miss. He had some punchlines in there. He had some fire and flame in there. He was speaking to the public, letting them know this and that and whatnot through his experiences as a street person and coming into the music industry, and then also his background of experiences through personal lifestyles. Now, you had to appreciate that, because it's a guy sharing their emotions like in a whole different way, especially when it comes to Marlo P. He's taken quite a few losses, and I'm just hearing about him. So to know that he embraced that, but then he gave context when he sat down on the press runs and spoke clearly about certain things, you can say to yourself, all right, yeah, I want to see what's next for Marlo P. Who is Marlo P going to become after all these losses, and where he's going to take himself in the next direction, through all the things that he's aspiring to do. So big up yourself, Marlo P. And let me drop a few tracks right now, because I thought I'd just shut it down in one take, because I break you down in the interview and I give you an actual full update. So if you guys want to see everything I thought about Marlo P's mixtape, go and check the video that is about to drop now.
Look, if we can't be blessed then it's long, come on.
Energy Empire. So 4th place, I had to put the boy Asco. Listen, Asco, hey, Mooley, listen, I'm not gonna lie. This project is gold. No joke about it. The visualizer, firstly, the intro perfect timing visualizer just set the tone mad. That I was just like, oh, and Asco's a rapper that I've seen developing passing. So now to hear a full body of work where I know, okay, this is going to represent, because I've seen he had some features that was highlighting the project before it dropped. So I was like, okay, this album's due to be solid. Now we're getting some music. All right, you know me, I'm always excited when I hear new rappers and new music and people that I've yet to discover floating through the gates as they should. So Asco happens to be someone now that I've come across to go and check out the rap albums, because when I do my research, you know, I make sure that I go and I scope everything and make sure that I don't miss no artist that I can't say, oh, I didn't listen to your project because of this and that. If you don't hear me listen to your project or highlight you, it's a possibility that I don't actually know your music yet, or I'm just not feeling it straight. So respectfully, when I'm going through the rap reviews now, I listen to a lot of projects, and I'm not gonna lie, big up every artist that did drop their ting. But for the top 5 reviews, straight after Marlon 5, Asco 4, and you know what? Let me tell you something about this too. Imagine the albums was dropping slow this year. So, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm putting down, I'm listening, then I'm taking a break and I'm doing my thing. And then I see certain content creators dropping reviews on people's projects that they liked. So I've added them to the name now. All right, let me go check them out. New discovery, and someone is shouting them out. That makes sense, that I would respect their voice. So I'm going to go and see that. Now, when I go and I listen, yeah, imagine Asco, to be fair, was going to be higher than he was until other albums started to drop. Now, that's the thing. With this year, I always try to wait till the latest point and I just bang out. I listen to all albums, but I might listen to projects in between here and there just to remember to say, okay, yeah, boom, this is what your first intake was. So, you know, when you go back and you give it another deep listen, this is what it is. So, Asco, I wasn't ready for the visualizer. The lyrics was just chopping. And the maddest thing about it, instantly as I'm hearing him as well, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, Asco is giving a wavy kind of wave, even though he's got his own wave. And that's what I like about his music. So as I've seen him in passing here and there when I've checked out other little bits and pieces in the music scene, yeah, I liked his tone of voice when he raps from long time. And the lyrics, he's definitely got it. And he's grown throughout his artistry. So now I'm listening to this full body of work. Perfect timing. The cover art, smooth. Crisp. Didn't need nothing more. I'm not going to lie to you. It was just subtle where you could say, all right, perfect timing. So he's talking big boss status. So his lyrics better be bossy, because the album cover is making you know, like, yeah, I'm here, posted, and it's the right time for you to get this project right now. So I'm ready. So Asco now, the visualizer comes, then you know the boys back, then you got the young ads, then you got the Count on Me, then you got the bricks and the strips, then you got the modern. Now, I can't even tell you how mad the project is that when the first track played, it was just chopping straight through. No lyrics wasn't being spared. Like, the production was matching him. It was just like energy. And I liked that. And his sound is unique to him, but it has a wave to it. So it's like, okay, Asco, to rap for us. Like, we're ready. So yeah, at the end, I will highlight, my favorite tracks off of this whole project. But I thought I'd just say that, and then let me drop something for you quickly.
Look, the boy back, man, fresh up out the bing. I was there in Purge for like 6 on the wing. And all now these niggas can't see the kid.
Energy Empire, the tune's called Count Me Out. That's how Asco's got my mind folded right now. The lyrics was just up. Respectfully. But no, let me put joke and fun aside, yeah. The album, I like it. Perfect timing, yeah. I was ready. And to be fair, I might not have even been ready, because, you know, I actually like when projects are laid out nicely, the lyrics is complimentary, the production makes sense, and the lyrics give what it needs to give. If you're dropping titles now, I'm expecting maybe it might match the title. If it doesn't match the title, then at some point we're going to get the perspective of why you've named it what you've named it. So there's a lot of things when it comes to listening to the creativity of someone's music and then actually reviewing it. So far, I was like, yes, Asco, what's next? You get me? The only thing is, I would have liked a bit more visuals so far. 16 songs, and there's like, what I think, 3 visuals. Well, 1 proper visual and then 2 like visuals where, you know, like it's just setting a little tone for you to get to see what one. There's not much features on the album, and that's one thing I did like too, is the fact that listening to him and just taking him in with this project, like he delivered solely by himself. Having young ants on the project, was a nice complimentary, because we know like his kind of aesthetic, and then doing that made sense. Like, that made sense. And then obviously, I think for me, if anything, which was a shocker, was like seeing him on a tune with K Trap, because they kind of have a different style of cadence. So the flow, like, it matched. So I really enjoyed that. I'm not gonna lie.
It's Big Muley, this, that different spill. That boy different still, he never itched or skill. He did his bid, he came home, he still spitting real. Drippy as ever, the boy still spits on the bezel just to show them levels.
Hit a bang, that's that different corn. Stay froze, I got different jaws. That nigga told he got different rules. Round the stove, whole brick of cool.
So altogether, the album was definitely solid, because after the feature with K Trap, Pain comes in, has a visual. I do like that. That was strong still. And then Money featuring H, that was unexpected. But one thing I can say, H shined on the actual track. And that's one thing he's always good at doing. Whenever he features on somebody else's track, he always comes with his best.
Ain't new to this, I ain't losing no sleep if I lose a bitch.
Church, God, I'm ashamed. Embarrassed in my ways, but still I'm asking for your grace. Feel like I've been led astray by the drinking and the spirits I let take.
Energy Empire. I had to take a little break because, I had some other things to do. Articles to write. So in the meantime, Energy Empire. Free. Santan Dave. Now you see this album, it dropped unexpectedly. The boy who played the harp. And from I saw the cover art, I knew what this project was going to be because I speak this language. So I was quite excited to see where this album was going to go. Initially, when the what would we call it now? Another cover art had dropped, which actually had the track titles. So when I saw the track titles, I was like, okay, my man Kano is on this thing. So I thought to myself, okay, when Sully gets on, it's going to be mental. For those who don't know, because I know I got a lot of Caribbean supporters, Sully, if you've watched Top Boy, then you know that Sully is Kano. Kano is a big time grime rapper from a long time. One of the greats, he's up there. So when I saw that he was on a tune with Dave, I was like, okay, makes sense. So I was definitely looking forward to chapter 16. But then I saw Thames' name on it and I was like, okay, Thames, I'm going to be interested in that tune too. Because, Thames has that essence. She has that spiritual energy about her where, okay, she's coming with something nice. So I had high hopes for that tune. I wasn't familiar with James Blake, but when I actually listened to the starting of the tune, I recognized, okay, where this tune was going to go. So first things first, 10 songs, yeah? And there's, I think, 4 features, 2 with James Blake, and an additional with, I think it's Jim Legacy. So, okay, when history starts, I already knew what time it was going to be because I was thinking to myself, like, wow, he's introducing a cover art on this tune and then developing in this new sound, this new wave of Evolve that he's bringing to his fans. So history is big because the message behind history speaks about foundation, impact, legacy, like things that Dave aspires to do and has been doing within his culture. So, and when I say the culture, I want to say roots, heritage, community where he comes from, and then the industry. There's other parts to the culture, but I'm speaking about this specific part when I'm talking about this tune. So James Blake's verse and vocal was well respected on the tune. He complimented the message. Then you had 175 months coming, and that one was the next one where I was still, when I was listening to it, because he spoke serious. He spoke about battle of faith, grief, sins, religion. He talked about his spiritual pathway and development of him working towards being someone who's trying to live a righteous path, but also coming from a foundation where he's had a history, going back to the first song where he titled it History. Then after 175 months, we have No Weapons. That one, I really liked that one because, to be fair, that one was like, it was like almost like, how would I explain it? It had this energy around it where when you heard the chorus, you could tell, okay, Dave is coming in and this is the sound what his fans are used to. So this commercialized expression of him still staying in the same lane of what he's talking about just made sense, and it just fit straight in a line. No weapons. We all know, we all say no weapons formed against us shall prosper. So to hear that one, I liked it. And Jim Legacy, he did his part on it. I'm not actually too familiar with everything that he does within his music, but I've seen his name around and I've seen and heard a few bits and pieces. So yeah, I appreciated that one. Then we came to Dave, and then it was like Dave featuring Kano, chapter 16, straight after No Weapons, was a long track and it had visual to it. So this is where now the dynamics of this tune changes. Chapter 16 now is big because it's a brother to a brother having a conversation about street life, reflection, life lessons, and more. Like, there was a whole load of things that was discussed in that. Missions to visions. Like, hey, I can't lie to you, chapter 16 definitely made sense to be so long. I'm glad we had a visual. I would have liked to see more of the storyline instead of just a sit down conversation, but I appreciate the sit down conversation because it's one of those tunes where you just really needed to listen. And when it comes to Dave's album, the reason why there's so much controversy around it, I understand, is because people didn't expect Dave to give them this type of project after so long. But when you think about the music that Dave has been making, yes, he's been rapping, yes, he's been talking street, yes, he's made some commercial hits, but at the same time, you can listen and hear that he has a bigger perspective of life. He has a vision that is beyond himself right now, and he's trying to elevate to get there. I can't remember which tune it was, but there was like 5 rappers on it. They even performed it at one of the big awards. That tune was one of the last biggest tunes where you can see, all right, when you think about this project here, the boy who played the harp, it complements it and it makes sense to where he's going. Every rapper is going to have an evolve. So for the street hitters who wanted to hear street, authentic, raw, edgy music, I understand why you guys was disappointed. But if you looked at the bigger mission of this album, then you will recognize, like, yeah, it holds weight. And after not hearing him for so long, this is the one.
Gave me the lecture, but I ain't
Rain Dance featuring Thames gave what it needed to give. It didn't give me what I didn't expect to hear. Love and light. So I got no complaints on that. Selfish. I liked Selfish. Selfish had a positive message. Definitely was heartfelt. My 27th birthday also was heartfelt and had a positive message. Marvelous wasn't really one of my favorites. Fairchild, I did like Fairchild, but you see, the boy who played the harp was built different. That tune covered a lot of subjects. He talked about like injustices, struggle, life, progression inferior to being in certain positions and not be able to having free speech to the way that you would be able to expect you can express yourself when you have something to say. He spoke about battles of like a lot of different things. Like he even spoke a bit about impact and historical struggles. There was a lot in The Boy Who Played the Harp. So I'm actually happy that he closed that project with that song, because 10 tracks out of 10 tracks, 9 straight solid. One wasn't my favorite, so I definitely had to put him up there. And you know, the funniest thing is that when I actually listened to Dave's album, Dave dropped his album so late that literally, if he never dropped it when he did, he wouldn't even have been in the list, period. But when he dropped his album in like the ending of October. I was still listening to my last 2 albums, and I always pause and wait, because you know, some people, they drop between October to December and then boom, you just do what you have to do. So he actually took somebody's position who was supposed to be in 3rd place. So because of that, I'm going to have to big up this person right now, and then drop 2 other people who was in that lane who had solid albums, but they didn't actually make it into my top 5. But I always do a long review on my end of year top 5, and then I add the remaining 5 that includes the top 10. So you never know, they might be in the top 10. But for now, big up Prof. Her Is the New Sexy. That mixtape was cold. Yeah. I recommend everybody who likes true hip hop to go and listen to that mixtape. And big up Mimi, the music blogger, because I saw her tweet it on X, saying that she thinks it's one of the best projects that's dropped this year. And when she tweeted that was like maybe like a good 4 months into, probably I think maybe when Dave was releasing his thing and I was still doing my album reviews. So big up Mimi for that. Go check out Prof. Her Is the New Sexy. That mixtape is highly recommended. And on top of that, in the category as well, I'm gonna have to shout out Little Sims, Lotus, big album, big movement. You know how Sims gets down. And Wretch, he dropped something. Wretch 32 dropped something. I think it was called Home. So go check that, everybody. But in the meantime,
I sometimes wonder, what would I do in the next generation? In 1940, if I was enlisted to fight for the nation?
Empire. So I had to go back and listen to both albums one more time, because I'm not gonna lie to you, between Rimsey and Little Torment, jeez, both projects are solid, to the point where it's hard to pick one. It's so hard to pick one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to leave it in the comment section for you guys to make your decision on who do you think had the best project between Rimsey and Torment. So as I got Rimsey's notes in front of me, yeah, let's talk about Rimsey. Rimsey had 14 tracks on his project, right? He had 14 tracks on a mixtape. And what I got from Rimsey's project was pain, passion, self-reflection, youth, growth, street-like, visionary, team building, hustle, vision. Yeah? Now, it's mad because you see, when you think about a project with 14 songs and almost, I think it was 9 features, 4 visuals, it was solid. The only thing is that Little Torment's project now, his mixtape, Henny Music 4, 18 songs, 2 features, and he had 6 visuals, and his project spoke a lot about reflection, fatherhood, incarceration, street life, self-belief, love, trauma, losses, battle of faith, isolation, relationships, heartbreak. He also spoke about some of the things that I mentioned in Rimsey's project. Same like Rimsey in Torment's project, vice versa. The differences between both of these projects is that Rimsey's project, yes, was dedicated to the streets, but it had a commercial essence behind it that you know that these songs, what he dropped, they have the potential to be hits off rip. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and one thing I can say about Rimsey's project, like, a few of the songs that I liked: Roadside, Lonely Nights, Dirts, 4-5 Held, Booty B and Quang Face, mad. Old Racks with Meals, mad. Fire, mad. Survivor's Guilt, Out the Mud, Reflection featuring Ariel Haynes. Beautifully done. There were some other songs on there that was mad, but that Dirts tune with Tentic, mental. I was happy for the dancehall flavour, and that's one thing I can say with all these projects that I listened to. The Caribbean essence was there. The only person who I think out of the 5 that I listened to that didn't have a Caribbean essence was Dave. Now, Torment's project, he had from the beginning to the end, yeah, just like Rimsey, his thing was hitting. But First Day Out had visuals, mad. Million Thoughts, same. Play the Streets 4, mad. I was happy to see catching this cameo too, and then to know that she was on one of the tracks, In My Feels, the follow-up track straight after that, mad. In My Feels is definitely one of my favourites of Torment's project, because I ain't gonna lie, it had me in my feels. Potential, mental, It's Pouring Too, mad. Legacy, jeez. Left the Streets, The Difference, God's Favourite, Troublesome, Movie Night, mad. Wiz, The Get Back. I'm not gonna lie, Free Us All featuring Mans Malone, K Money, mental. Listen, both projects was mad. So I'm going to highlight some songs from both projects. But what I want to say is this. Big up yourself, Rimsey. Big up yourself, Torment. Because it was hard to make a decision here. But when I do a thorough assessment, I'm going to have to give it to Torment. Simply for the fact that 18 songs, only 2 features. Man held his own on this project differently. Like, even certain lines that was used in the project, mental. And the thing is, with Rimsey as well, he had a lot of smoke in his lyrics. Like, his lyrics was chopping. Like, if I was to have the time to sit down and go back over both of these projects and go line for line and break down everything, I might do that in the new year coming when I do my next reviews. I might just go line for line. Like, you're gonna see that both of these artists right now deserve to win an award or something. So you know what? I'm gonna leave it to the people. But on my end of year top 5, big up yourself, Torment. I'm giving it to you.
On the screen, then I'm at that bit. One song away could change my whole life. Get the man I'm lit. I told the plug I'm chilling for a second, just cancel it. I probably ready made about $1 million, just ran for it.
You were for love, it was purely passion. Now they hate me bad, but they love the badness. Brother, where I'm from is snakes and ladders.
Every morning sending texts, fiends gotta get the message. I'm doing yoga on a budge, the way I got it stretched. No comment in the station, bitch, I'm clueless. I got £1 million dreams and they're lucid. Ain't doing maths, no, these are different kind of rulers. I'm wearing all black, just highlight my jewelers. But alhamdulillah, I'm here to tell the story. Deep in the music, I was trying to kill niggas I went to school with. I wasn't no ordinary school kid, I never went to board school. I grew up unlawful, fiends and machines, it was normal. Lighting shit up with a semi-9, yo, I could always rap like this. I was always up next in line. Label signing everyone but me, he thinks he took my place. All money and no distractions, okay, watch the space, it's not a race with any.
I knew they never fuck with us for real, that been what it was. But every time my shit drop, I just triple my buzz. 7-figure splurge, I'm a blue strip spender.
Old racks in the safe, I got dirty in the blender.